Hello, you're watching Weekly Highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host, Ilham Məmmədov. Now, first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. An informal summit of the heads of state of the Organization of Turkic States was held in Şuşa on July 6. President İlham Əliyev participated in the commissioning ceremony of the Zengilan tanker. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, received credentials of newly appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Kyrgyz Republic, Maksat Mamutkanov.
The ambassador presented his credentials to President İlham Əliyev. The head of state then had a conversation with the ambassador. Ambassador Maksat Mamutkanov conveyed the greetings and best wishes of President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, to President İlham Əliyev. The head of our state expressed gratitude for the greetings and best wishes, asked the ambassador to convey his greetings to President Sadir Japarov. During the conversation, the sides held a development of relations at the level of strategic partnership, noting that bilateral relations between the two countries have significantly developed and reached a qualitatively new stage in recent years. The president of Azerbaijan highlighted the importance of reciprocal visits at the level of heads of state. President İlham Əliyev underlined that traditional brotherly and friendly ties between the two countries have strengthened. President İlham Əliyev commended the fact that important projects have been implemented between the two countries in trade, economy, investment, transport, and other fields. The head of state once again expressed his gratitude to the Kyrgyz president and people for the school construction project in Agdam district and the support to the construction process, describing it as manifestation of fraternal relations. Noting that there are great plans ahead for the expansion of bilateral cooperation, President İlham Əliyev expressed his confidence that relations would continue to strengthen. The head of state noted the mutual desire of the leadership of Azerbaijan and Kyrgyzstan to expand economic cooperation and realize existing potential between the two fraternal countries. Touching upon the cooperation between the two countries within the Organization of Turkic States, President İlham Əliyev described this organization as a family. The president of Azerbaijan wished the ambassador success in his endeavors. Expressing his gratitude for the kind words, Maksat Mamutkanov emphasized his confidence in the continued strengthening of bilateral relations. He mentioned that the president of Kyrgyzstan had tasked him with expanding the relations and assured that he would spare no effort in this direction.
President İlham Əliyev received credentials of newly appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Canada, Kevin Hamilton, on July 1st.
The head of state then had a conversation with the ambassador. Ambassador Kevin Hamilton emphasized that Azerbaijan is a very beautiful, dynamically developing and important country, expressing his hope that if a comprehensive peace treaty is signed between Azerbaijan and Armenia, it would provide new opportunities for cooperation in the region. The ambassador said that he wished to establish better relations in the region so that it will contribute to the development of relations both with Azerbaijan and Armenia. Noting that Canada has always supported the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, the ambassador said that he is aware that active work is underway on a fair, comprehensive, and permanent peace treaty. The head of state underscored that during the occupation of Azerbaijani lands, ethnic cleansing and genocide were committed there, and the territories were massively destroyed. President İlham Əliyev stated that great efforts were made to resolve the conflict at that time. However, these efforts failed. Thus, the three permanent members of the UN Security Council failed to resolve the conflict, or rather, did not want to. All of them wanted the occupation carried out by Armenia to last forever due to various reasons, the Azerbaijani president mentioned. The head of state said that he came to this conclusion based on his personal experience in his presidential activities. Underlining that there are now better results at the bilateral level, the head of state said that there is no interference in this process by anyone. We can come to an agreement on border delimitation and even demarcation, which is a rare case, the head of state noted. The president of Azerbaijan mentioned that although it's true that the peace treaty has not been signed yet, however, the border delimitation has already been achieved. President İlham Əliyev emphasized that in the case of COP29, Armenia lifted its veto on Azerbaijan regarding hosting this event, and we did not oppose their participation in the governing bodies of the COP. The head of state noted that, frankly speaking, he does not think that a peace treaty between Azerbaijan and Armenia can play an important role for our bilateral relations with any country. The head of state emphasized that for 28 years Armenia refused to comply with the fundamental principles of international law. They violated all humanitarian laws and ignored the relevant resolutions of the UN Security Council demanding the immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian forces from the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. No one held them accountable in the slightest. A number of countries discussing the conflict did not declare loyalty to the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. President Ilham stressed, now after we have defeated Armenia's occupying forces on the battlefield and expelled them from our lands, we hear statements supporting our territorial integrity. But we have already secured it ourselves. Whether someone recognizes our territorial integrity or not is irrelevant. The president of Azerbaijan noted that this was important when Azerbaijani lands were under occupation. It is known that pro-Armenian sentiments and the role of the Armenian diaspora exist in some Western countries. However, when it comes to international law, these emotions should be set aside. It is important to understand that issues unresolved for 28 years are difficult to solve in 1-2 years. Moreover, substantive negotiations between Azerbaijan and Armenia only began in December. Before that, Armenia wanted to include the so-called Nagorno-Karabakh issue in the peace agreement, which was unacceptable, the president of Azerbaijan said. President Ilham emphasized that this is Azerbaijan's internal matter. Thus, after the dissolution of the separatist regime, negotiations have been ongoing for only 6 months since December. The head of state stated that this requires time and, of course, the main condition for the peace agreement is the amendment of Armenia's constitution, because it contains territorial claims against Azerbaijan, and until this is addressed, a peace agreement will not be signed. This is a known fact. The president of Azerbaijan also noted that despite this, he believes that we are making considerable progress in the negotiation process. The head of state said, "I believe we can finalize the text of the peace agreement, or at least its main principles, within a few months." In response to the ambassador's comment on the right of return, the president of Azerbaijan stated that the right of return should be mutually ensured, including for the representatives of the Western Azerbaijan community. In this regard, the head of state noted that in various stages of the last century, the most recent being in 1988, the indigenous Azerbaijani population was subjected to ethnic cleansing from the current territory of Armenia, and their material and cultural heritage was completely destroyed. The ambassador expressed his respect for the head of state and thanked him for the information.
The head of state received credentials of newly appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of the Philippines, Henry S. Bensouda Jr. on July 1st.
The head of state then had a conversation with the ambassador. Henry S. Bensouda Jr. conveyed the greetings from President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos, to the President of Azerbaijan. President Ilham expressed his gratitude for the greetings and asked the ambassador to communicate his greetings to President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos. Hailing the development of relations between the two countries in various spheres, the president of Azerbaijan touched upon the cooperation within international organizations in the fields of tourism and investments and people-to-people contacts. President Ilham emphasized the importance of the visits of government delegations. Ambassador Henry S. Bensouda noted that Azerbaijan's chairmanship of the non-aligned movement has been very successful, leaving a significant legacy in this regard. The diplomat pointed out that Azerbaijan had undertaken significant steps towards institutional development of this movement. Congratulating Azerbaijan on hosting the COP29, Henry S. Bensouda Jr. said that the Philippines would also be represented in this event by a high-level delegation. The head of state thanked for the congratulations and kind words regarding the non-aligned movement and the COP29 chairmanship. President Ilham expressed his gratitude for Philippines' support as a member country in the successful implementation of Azerbaijan's chairmanship of the non-aligned movement. The head of state underlined that within the framework of COP29, Azerbaijan, as an integral part of the Global South, will strive to strengthen solidarity and build bridges between countries.
On the 2nd of July, President Ilham Aliyev participated in the commissioning ceremony of the Zangilan tanker, constructed at the Baku shipyard upon the order of Azerbaijan Caspian Shipping Closed Joint Stock Company. In recent years, Azerbaijan, known as the shipbuilding state of the region, has achieved even greater success in this area. As a result of large-scale work to renew the fleet and build new ships, Azerbaijan's position in the Caspian Sea is increasingly strengthened. The need for ships is also met with the growing volumes of transit cargo transportation through the territory of our country.
Prezident Azərbaycan gəmisinin yeni inşa edilmiş Zəngilan gəmisi istismara hazırdır. Nəvz etdi gəmisini idarə etdi Sədr Rəsmi. Hoş geldin, Prezident.
Chairman of Azerbaijan Caspian Shipping Closed Joint Stock Company, Rövşən informed President Ilham Aliyev about the Zangilan tanker. Chairman of the Board of Baku Shipbuilding Plant, LLC, Elshad Nuriyev, informed the head of state about the activities of the enterprise. He noted that the plant, which employs a total of 1,046 people, continues to build one row-part ferry, 2 tankers and 1 dredging vessel. 2 tankers, 4 diving vessels and 3 high-speed passenger vessels are in the design stage. Contracts are currently being concluded for 4 bulk carriers, 1 patrol boat and 1 firefighting vessel. The shipyard has signed contracts for the construction of 5 merchant ships and 8 service ships for a total of 13 contracts. The concept of Zangilan, which has a unique design and has wide capabilities in terms of its technical indicators, was developed as part of a successful collaboration with the Odessa Marine Engineering Bureau. The length of the new generation tanker is 141 meters, width is 16.9 meters, and height is 6 meters. The tanker, capable of moving at a speed of 10 knots per hour, will be served by a crew of 15 people. The tanker has 6 cargo tanks with a total capacity of 9,212 cubic meters. Unlike the previously commissioned Lachin and Kalbajar tankers, the Zangilan tanker, like the Akademician Khoshbakht Yusufzada tanker, will transport both oil and petrochemicals. The technical characteristics of the vessel, in particular its draft in the water, allow it to enter relatively shallow ports of the Caspian Basin and transport cargo outside the Caspian Sea with maximum carrying capacity. President Ilham Aliyev met with President of the Russian Federation Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Astana, Kazakhstan.
Уважаемый Илхам Гейдарович, очень рад вас видеть снова. У нас объем.
Dear Ilham Heydarovich, I am very glad to see you again. The scale of our interaction is quite extensive, and even if we were to meet every day, every month, I think we would have something to talk about. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that our relations on the key issues are developing positively, namely trade and economic cooperation. Our turnover is in excess of $4 billion, and direct Russian investments in Azerbaijan's economy amounts to $4.5 billion. There is an upward trend. I think there is 13% growth in the first half of the year. In general, everything is developing positively. I would like to mention our plans in the field of infrastructure, and of course, the well-known North-South corridor comes first here. I do hope that we will say a few words about that as well. There are opportunities in other areas as well, including energy and industrial cooperation. We act on the basis of the agreement we signed at the end of 2022. This is a good basis for the development of relations in all areas. Let me also mention the humanitarian component. I believe the days of Russian culture in Azerbaijan have just ended. And I always note your personal special attention to the support of the Russian language, with more than 300 schools in Azerbaijan working with the Russian language and teaching Russian language to young people, to children. This creates a good base and good prospects for maintaining and developing our relations in the future. I'm very glad to see you.
Спасибо, Владимир Владимирович. Очень рад снова
Thank you, Vladimir Vladimirovich. I'm very pleased to see you again. As you noted, there are many questions, but in principle, this is how we meet, almost every month. I last visited Moscow in the second half of April, so we are meeting again in a little more than a month. This goes to show you, as noted, that there are a lot of issues that are being resolved very successfully. Of course, the growth of the turnover boost last year and this year is a demonstration of the fact that our economies are actively interacting. It is gratifying that mutual settlements in national currencies are also growing. More than 70% of Azerbaijani exports to Russia and about 50% of Russian exports to Azerbaijan. So the implementation of what you and I talked about a few years ago is successfully ongoing. Humanitarian cooperation has always been the basis of our interaction. I'm grateful to you for always noting and appreciating the attitude to the Russian language, Russian culture and literature that exists in Azerbaijan. The days of Russian culture in Azerbaijan, which were a huge success, once again confirmed this. We have about 1 million students pursuing education in the Russian language, 150,000 in Russian schools, and 800,000 study Russian as a second language. This means that the future generation of our citizens will be as actively interacting and speaking in Russian as we do. We discussed the North-South project in Moscow last time. There have been positive developments since then, and we will talk about that. We are determined to expand the infrastructure of the corridor on the Azerbaijani territory. Although it physically exists, it does not correspond to the intentions of our partners and neighbors to maximize the use of this project. As you mentioned, there are also new ideas in the energy sector, and our relevant entities are in constant contact. We will also talk about that today, and the same applies to all other areas. As you noted, in 2022 we signed a Declaration of Alliance, which we are successfully implementing, and all provisions of the declarations are reflected in life. We have been working together as allies for more than 2 years, demonstrating good results. We will talk about this in detail today. Thank you once again for the opportunity to see you. President Ilham Aliyev held a meeting with President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Dear Ilham Heydarovich, I sincerely welcome you in Astana. I am delighted to see you. I always recall my visit to Baku and Shusha. It was a significant turning point, a very important visit. One can say without any exaggeration that it was a historic visit in terms of its significance. In the course of our negotiations, we gave a significant impetus to the further development of interaction. I would describe it not even as cooperation, but as interaction in a number of strategic areas. We can say with full confidence that our cooperation, our interaction is of a strategic nature. I am pleased to see you here as a guest at the summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Azerbaijan will probably become a full member of the SCO in a little while. In any case, Kazakhstan does not object to this. On the contrary, we support it as long as there is a corresponding desire on your part. In Kazakhstan, you are known as an undoubted leader of Azerbaijan and one of the outstanding statesmen. There is no denying that we in Kazakhstan are watching all the transformations that are taking place in your country with great interest and sincerely rejoicing at them. Of course, your personal role here is certainly beyond any doubt and difficult to overestimate. I am grateful to you for immediately agreeing to our proposal to provide a platform for negotiations with Armenia on the territory of Kazakhstan. The first negotiations took place in Almaty. They were quite successful, at least useful. Returning to the results of my visit to Azerbaijan, I should say that we are now working on the realization of the reached agreements. In fact, although we are meeting on the sidelines of the SCO, these are fully fledged negotiations on all issues related to our cooperation. Therefore, I would like to give you the floor now. Thank you very much, Kassym-Jomart Kemelovich. First of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation to participate in the SCO summit. We consider it as a further evidence of Kazakhstan's brotherly attitude towards Azerbaijan. We are honored to be part of this event. And thank you very much as well for finding the time to meet. I know how busy you are these days. Although we met relatively recently, there is a need to go over the agenda a little bit and see how we are realizing the agreement reached. Your state visit to Azerbaijan was in fact historic in terms of form, content and emotional mood. I would like to once again express gratitude on behalf of all the people of Azerbaijan for your initiative to help with the restoration of liberated territories. The center, which bears the name of a great son of the Kazakh people, Kurmangazi, is effectively working and, as we have noted, is a center of Kazakh-Azerbaijani friendship and brotherhood. This is a clear demonstration of your personal attitude and that of the brotherly people of Kazakhstan towards Azerbaijan. We have positive momentum in all directions we have discussed and agreed upon. We are actively working on issues related to the transportation infrastructure. We are essentially working on the Trans-Caspian transportation route as one team. Of course, within the framework of today's and tomorrow's event, this topic will be discussed in detail. Also, this topic will dominate the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States, which will be held in just a few days, and we will be glad to see you in Karabakh again. I would also like to express my gratitude for the support of the process between Azerbaijan and Armenia. A ceremony to exchange the shareholders' agreement signed between Azerbaijan Investment Holding and Samruk Kazina National Wealth Fund joint stock company with the participation of President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and President of Kazakhstan Kassym-Jomart Tokayev was held. President Ilham Aliyev also met with Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. I believe that under the leadership of Mr. President, Azerbaijan will continue to achieve new accomplishments in various aspects of state building. China-Azerbaijan relations are based on sincerity and mutual trust. Our countries are good friends and good partners, grounded in equality and mutual benefit. China-Azerbaijan relations have always developed in a healthy and stable manner. Cooperation between the two countries has yielded effective results and reaches strategic content. Today, we will adopt a joint declaration. With this document, we will elevate our bilateral relations to the level of strategic partnership. This also marks a new starting point. We will continue to enhance mutual support for the prosperity of our peoples. Dear Mr. President, I am very pleased to see you again. As you mentioned, our countries are close partners, and the declaration to be adopted today officially makes the People's Republic of China and Azerbaijan strategic partners. I think this is a great achievement and also a great responsibility. We intend to actively interact and strengthen bilateral relations in all directions in the future. I'm glad that our meetings are regular in nature and give an important impetus to the development of comprehensive relations between our countries. I would like to emphasize mutual support in international institutions, the expression of support for the territorial integrity and sovereignty of our countries in various documents adopted at the bilateral level. I would also like to point to the active diplomacy at the level of ministries, departments, state agencies, public organizations of our countries, and productive cooperation between the Communist Party of China and the new Azerbaijan Party. All this strengthens our relationship. We are pleased with the increase in the turnover of goods between our countries. It has reached $3 billion and has the potential for further growth. Azerbaijan has already opened trading houses in 6 Chinese cities in an effort to promote its products in the Chinese market. We are also pleased with the increase in exports from the People's Republic of China to Azerbaijan. I would like to thank you once again for your help during the COVID-19 epidemic. My written appeal to you received an immediate positive response, and more than 1 million doses of vaccine were delivered to Azerbaijan, saving thousands of lives. Azerbaijan became one of the countries that passed this test with the minimum losses, first of all thanks to your friendly attitude and help in a difficult time. I would like to note that the prospects of investment cooperation are already discernible. Among the recent events, I would like to mention the selection of China's BYD company, a well-known manufacturer of electric cars and electric buses, as Azerbaijan's strategic partner. Relevant documents have been signed as the first step of cooperation for joint production of electric buses and other electric vehicles. Of course, I am particularly pleased to note the increase in cargo transportation between our countries. A trilateral meeting between President of Azerbaijan Ilham, President of the Republic of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif took place on July 3rd. The sides emphasized during the meeting that the summit of the President of Azerbaijan, the President of Turkey, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan was held for the first time in a trilateral format. The sides underlined its historic importance and expressed confidence that these meetings would become regular in the future. The sides emphasized that Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Pakistan shared historical and religious roots and fraternal relations. They noted that the 3 countries always supported each other within the framework of international organizations and stated the importance of continuing this support in the future. It was noted that trilateral formats already existed between Azerbaijan, Pakistan, and Turkey at the level of parliament speakers and foreign ministers, and a number of meetings had been held during this time. The sides emphasized again that Azerbaijan had fully restored its territorial integrity and sovereignty. Concern was expressed that countries outside the region were pursuing a policy of militarization in the South Caucasus. The political and moral support of Brazil, Turkey, and Pakistan for Azerbaijan during the 44-day patriotic war was emphasized. It was noted that the people and the state of Azerbaijan highly appreciated this support. In accordance with the spirit of political relations between the 3 countries, the sides exchanged views on the prospects for the development of economic and trade relations, as well as the areas of innovation, energy, agriculture, education, humanitarian, and other fields. The growing dynamics of economic and trade relations was noted as a positive development, but the importance of fully aligning this with the potential of the 3 countries was also emphasized. Pakistan's participation in the Middle Corridor was mentioned, and it was noted that it would contribute to the promotion of economic and trade relations between the countries involved. During the meeting, the sides reviewed issues of cooperation in the fields of defense and defense industry, touched upon the importance of the exercises of the special forces of the 3 countries held under the 3 Brothers motto in 2021, and suggested conducting joint exercises of the armed forces of the 3 countries on a regular basis. The suggestion was accepted. In the field of defense industry, the sides discussed the possibilities of organizing joint production by the 3 countries. President of Azerbaijan invited President of Turkey and the Prime Minister of Pakistan to participate in COP29 again. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif accepted the invitation with pleasure. On the 4th of July, President Ilham Aliyev arrived at the Palace of Independence to participate in the meeting held in the SCO Plus format in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, welcomed President Ilham Aliyev.
Azərbaycan Respublikasının Prezidenti İlham Aliyev.
Then the participants of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit posed together for a group photo. A meeting was held in the SCO Plus format in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, participated in the event.
Dear Kassym-Jomart Kemelevic, dear heads of state and government, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the President of Kazakhstan for the invitation to the summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This is my fourth visit to Kazakhstan in the last 2 years. In the same time period, President of Kazakhstan has visited Azerbaijan 3 times, which demonstrates the high level of bilateral relations between our countries. Azerbaijan for the second time is invited to participate at the SCO summit. We consider it as a sign of growing partnership between Azerbaijan and the SCO member states. Connectivity along east-west and north-south transportation corridors constitutes an important area of cooperation between Azerbaijan and the SCO member states. The geographical location and substantial investments in transport infrastructure have enabled Azerbaijan to become one of the transport and logistics hub in Eurasia. The annual handling capacity of the Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railway, an integral part of the Middle Corridor, has increased from 1 million tons to 5 million tons thanks to the Azerbaijani investments. We're working with partner countries to ensure digitalization of the Middle Corridor. Furthermore, Azerbaijan aims to increase the annual capacity of the Alat International Sea Trade Port from 50 million tons to 25 million tons. Azerbaijan also plays an important role in the development of the north-south transportation corridor. Railroad and highway infrastructure of Azerbaijani segment of the north-south transport corridor is ready and functioning successfully. Currently, we are working to expand it to the volumes of railway cargo of 15 and later, when needed, 30 million tons annually. Dear colleagues, in September 2023, Azerbaijan fully restored sovereignty over its internationally recognized territories, thus restoring international law and historical justice. Azerbaijan put an end to Armenia's 30-year-long occupation and implemented by military political means 4 UN Security Council resolutions which had remained on paper for 30 years. Azerbaijan is a strong supporter of multilateralism. We have successfully chaired the non-aligned movement in 2019-2023 and strengthened its visibility and influence at the global arena, contributed to its institutional development by creating, with the support of member states, the parliamentary network, the youth organization, as well as laying the foundation of the women platform of the movement. With the unanimous support of almost 200 countries, Azerbaijan will host COP29 this year. We will spare no effort in building bridges between developed and developing countries at the COP29 in Baku and strive towards reaching an accord that would take into account the legitimate interests of the developing nations. Azerbaijan's priorities also include the support to the small island development states facing existential threat due to adverse effects of climate change. Azerbaijan has initiated the establishment of a special technical assistance fund to support the small island developing states. We will continue our work with the SCO on the preparation for the COP29, the world's largest international conference. I have already sent official invitations to the leaders of the SCO member states and hope to see my colleagues this November in Baku. Thank you.
On July 5th, the head of state visited Khojaly, Khankendi and Shusha.
The head of state visited the Khojaly airport, inspected progress of the renovations undertaken at Qarabağ University in Khankendi city, attended the ceremony to reopen the Qarabağ Hotel after its major overhaul and restoration, participated in the groundbreaking ceremony for the Khankendi Congress Center, and inaugurated the Palace Hotel after major overhaul and restoration. Afterwards, President Ilham Aliyev attended the opening of the Sabulaghi Recreational Complex, the inauguration of the Shusha Water Treatment Plant Complex, reopenings of Ashaghi Göfharaga Mosque and Government Services Center after restoration.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received Secretary General of the Organization of Turkic States, Kubanычbek Omaraliyev, on July 5th.
Kubanычbek Omaraliyev expresses gratitude to President Ilham Aliyev for the initiative to hold the informal summit of the heads of state of the Organization of Turkic States in Shusha and for inviting him to the event. The Secretary General highlighted the significance of both official and informal summits as factors contributing to deeper cooperation and partnership among the countries. He noted the summit's dedication to crucial topics such as transportation, communications, and climate change, emphasizing the necessity of expanding cooperation among Turkic states in these areas. He touched upon the significance of multilateral cooperation in transportation and communications, expressing confidence that this would contribute substantially to the strengthening of the Turkic world. Kubanычbek Aliyev specifically underscored the importance of the Middle Corridor in this context. The Secretary General emphasized the significance of the forthcoming adoption of the Karabakh Declaration in terms of the organization's development and the implementation of its future goals, valuing it as a historic statement. He also praised Azerbaijan's initiatives within the framework of the Organization of Turkic States to promote sectoral cooperation and highlighted their positive reception. He expressed gratitude to President Ilham Aliyev for the renewal of the organization's secretariat structure, the increase in headcount, and the financial support provided to the institution. The attaché noted that the Turkic world is one of the priority areas of Azerbaijan's foreign policy, and once again recalled his statement saying that the Turkic world is our family, which he made during his swearing-in ceremony at the Azerbaijani Milli Majlis. President Ilham Aliyev expresses confidence that the heads of state and government would engage in extensive discussions on the agenda of the organization and that this summit would contribute to deepening the partnership within the framework of the organization. The Azerbaijani president also expresses hope that the informal summit would become a regular event. The head of state underlined that since the signing of the Nakhchivan Agreement, the Organization of Turkic States had followed a successful path of development, now standing as one of the international organizations with global acclaim. The president of Azerbaijan emphasized that the Karabakh Declaration, to be signed with the participation of heads of state and government, holds historical significance, adding that it will give a strong boost to the development of cooperation in various areas. The Secretary General once again conveyed his congratulations to President Ilham Aliyev on the occasion of COP29. Expressing his gratitude for the congratulations, President Ilham Aliyev highlighted the importance of the Organization of Turkic States member countries taking various initiatives on climate change issues and holding joint events within the framework of COP29.
The head of state received President of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, Ersin Tatar, in Shusha.
The president of Azerbaijan recalled with pleasure the earlier meetings with Ersin Tatar in Baku and within the framework of other international events. During the conversation, the sides noted the importance of the informal summit dealing with building a sustainable future through transport, relations and climate action in terms of the discussion and implementation of the issues on the agenda of the Organization of Turkic States at the level of the heads of state and government. The sides expressed hope that such summits would become regular and emphasized that these would serve the development and unity of the Turkic world. Recalling his meetings with the president of Azerbaijan with pleasure, Ersin Tatar expressed his gratitude to the president of Azerbaijan for the invitation to the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States to be held in Shusha, noting that it's his second visit to Azerbaijan. The president of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus noted the importance of the Karabakh Declaration to be signed. Ersin Tatar highly appreciated President Ilham Aliyev's initiative to hold the informal summit along with the official summit meetings of the Organization of Turkic States. He expressed his confidence that such meetings would become regular and make a significant contribution to the further development of cooperation and partnership among Turkic states. The president of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus emphasized that the summit was dedicated to very relevant issues such as transport, relations and climate action. Ersin Tatar expressed his satisfaction with the development of relations after the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus had received the status of an observer in the Organization of Turkic States in Samarkand in November 2022. Expressing his gratitude to President Ilham Aliyev for the support, Ersin Tatar said he had repeatedly mentioned these issues in his statements and thanked Azerbaijan for the solidarity, friendship, brotherhood and support for the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Evaluating the establishment of a Northern Cyprus friendship group in the Milli Majlis of the Republic of Azerbaijan as an important step, Ersin Tatar said he was pleased with the Days of Azerbaijani Culture held in his country. The sides also exchanged opinions on other issues of mutual interest.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received Foreign Minister of the Republic of Turkey, Hakan Fidan, in Shusha.
During the conversation, the sides recalled the recent trilateral meeting in Astana as an example of a friendship and brotherhood between President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif, expressing confidence that this format would become regular. According to an agreement reached with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, it was emphasized that Turkey will be represented by its Vice President at the summit in Shusha due to the visit of the Turkish head of state to Germany, to which the Turkey and Netherlands match. They highlighted the importance of signing the Shah Declaration in the city of Shah in 2021, which forms the basis of allied relations between Azerbaijan and Turkey. The parties held a successful development of brotherhood, friendship and allied relations between the two countries in all areas. They also stressed the significance of the unity and solidarity of the Turkic world. During the conversation, discussions also revolved around Azerbaijan-Armenia and Turkey-Armenia relations.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, visiting President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, and President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, viewed the first residential complex consisting of 23 buildings in Shusha, the Ashaghi Gövharaga mosques, and toured the city. An informal summit of heads of state of the Organization of Turkic States was held in Shusha on July 6.
President Ilham Aliyev welcomed heads of state and government participating in the summit. The head of state addressed the event.
Hörmətli dövlət və hökumət başçıları,
Dear heads of state and government, dear friends, allow me to extend sincere greetings to all of you. Welcome to Azerbaijan, welcome to Karabakh. Thank you for supporting my initiative to hold annual informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States, as well as for accepting our invitation to visit Shusha. Enhancing relations with Turkic countries and strengthening the Turkic world and the Organization of Turkic States are Azerbaijan's foreign policy priorities. Azerbaijan has always made efforts to strongly unite the Turkic world, increase its political, economic and military power, and transform it into the influential global entity. The Organization of Turkic States should become one of the prominent international forces. We cover a vast geography with positive demographic dynamics in the member states. Our military capability has repeatedly proven itself on the battlefields. Our abundant natural resources and modern infrastructure for their delivery, transport corridors connecting Central Asia and the Caucasus with Mediterranean and Black Sea ports, our rich and ancient history and culture are our great assets. The commitment of our peoples to traditional values and their shared ethnic roots closely bind our countries. The 21st century must be a century of progress of the Turkic world.
A ceremony of signing the Karabakh Declaration of the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States took place in Shusha. That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.